Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I have nothing in my hands today because this is going to be one of those weird odds and ends type of videos where we look at a whole smattering of things, from some terrible KOs to some minicons to some Headmaster heads, kinda, sorta. We're going to cover it all in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, baby, light 'em up and hit that notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors, NL, and the Autobot family, as well as Transformers versus G.I. Joe versus DC Universe versus Marvel. Have a look for me on Patreon. And check out what we offer to you through Teespring. All those links and more down in the description below, including everything for social media. And what can I say? Today is one of those weird odds and ends videos, and if you've been around the channel for any length of time, then we've done this a bunch of times. I'll kind of run through, when we go over to the table, I'll kind of run through what we've looked at in the past and when. But suffice it to say, at this point, we're going to cover items that probably don't necessarily deserve a full review in and of themselves, but really deserve a little bit of attention because we're all fans, man. And this time they range from really poorly done KOs to a couple of minicons to some strange headmastery type of things. You'll see what I mean when we head over to the table and take a closer look at all these items. And this is going to be one of the strangest odds and ends sagas that we've ever kicked off here on the channel. Now, a little history lesson in case you're new to these parts. We did the first odds and end video a long time ago in episode 49, and we looked at some strange things like this plastic canvas and wool Autobot symbol I had, a couple of t-shirts. We looked at this like KO Rubik's Cube based on Transformers Prime. It was a bit weird. Then a bit later we looked at, in episode 370, like these math cards and a mug and the Beast Wars saga. The entire like box set, I suppose. In episode 559, it was kind of the wedding episode for me and Starscream wife. I showed off my cufflinks and my kind of shattered glass Autobot tie, a couple of pairs of socks, our cake topper. In more recent times, in episode 655, we looked at this weird KO that Maximal 10 gave me. We looked at a comic and we looked at a couple of BotBots. And in episode 691, we looked at this dinosaur box thing, some Energon cubes, and the Dr. Wu upgrade set for Battle Trap and how effective that was. And this time around, we have like a bunch of things to look at. Some good, some clever, some not good. And we begin things with this classic timepiece for the discerning collector. Now, I did look at a KO of this timepiece because this is based on the, I think it's like Chrono form, and the like Chrome version was retconned to be Vector Prime. I looked at like a KO of that in episode 444. I'm gonna say this, the KO is kind of better than the like official, and I'm not sure if this is also an official or if it's also a KO or what, but we're gonna quickly kind of do the transformation. There's buttons here on the side. You press those to disengage it, and you can take this out of it, and then that just leaves you with this lad. And we turn his head around, we straighten down the legs, and we bring these forward, and there's little sliders to bring the hands out if you haven't done so already. The sliders are underneath the arms, and this is a red version of that. Now, honestly, this isn't as good as the KO I looked at in episode 444 because the legs don't have knees, and you can't turn these to get knees like you could on that KO. They can't kick forward, the KO can, and the KO's arms kind of split, so he has a little bit of an elbow as well, to be honest with you. But nevertheless, I do remember the watch transformer being in blue, yellow, red, gray, I think chrome, and maybe green, maybe even a yellow. So like these were all over the place, official, unofficial. This is one of those that was unofficial. I kind of like the red, and I'm kind of happy to have him in my collection. All thanks to friend of the channel, Non-Metal. Quirky, weird, yes, but definitely classic as well. And now from one KO to another KO, this was thrown in the box with an order I had from Tortoise, where I got the Black Mamba Slash and an extra version of like the Combiner Wars Vortex mold, Alpha Bravo mold, that I have been using for a custom Death Cobra, and this is what was thrown in the box. It's based on a G1 Micromaster. It rolls okay, I guess. To do the transformation, we flip down the legs, and we just stand the boy up, and we can bring forward his arms a little bit. I'm just going to center things here ever so slightly. And in essence, it's a G1 Micromaster. I'll probably put him with, I don't know, Grease Pit maybe? Why not? We don't actually have a little Micromaster Grease Pit. I know this isn't even the right mold, but whatever. Maybe I'll paint it. I don't know. We'll see. The arms, you know, they can do Micromaster things. He can get in a seated position. He has one like mono foot, kind of like a duck foot. Like, he can waddle along. It's as good, it's every bit as good as the official Micromasters from the G1 era, to be honest with you. The plastic feels great, the colors are a little wild, but it's as good as a Micromaster from that era would ever be. And while that KO of a G1 Micromaster was alright, I mean, it's as good, like I said, as a G1 Micromaster could be. You know what's not good? You know what's really bad? When you take the idea of a combiner and decide, hey, we're going to shrink it down and make them like Micromaster size, and we're going to do it as a KO with cheap garbage materials, and we're gonna sell that and call it good. There was a whole range of these done in China, Japan, I don't know. They're definitely knockoffs. They are tiny. These are 3 of the 5 members of the Protectobots. I know that there's a Bruticus like it. I know that there's a Menasor like it. I think there's a Superion like it. And like, they go for these crazy prices in the aftermarket. Don't. It's garbage. It's so bad. Non-Metal sent me these, and I'm glad to take a look at them, but trust me, they're not good. Not good. So we have, like, I guess this is blades, and you can close that up, and you can flip this to the side, and then like the head can flip forward, and you can even flip this back, and like there's an arm for Defensor basically. I guess you can extend his legs. There you go. There's the arm for Defensor. You can leave that up. Now he does have arms, which I guess it's nice, but like they're so thin. I'm just waiting for them to break. But like, yeah, that's supposed to be blades. It's so bad. They were just like, you know what? Let's just take the tail of his helicopter, we'll just put it up on the side. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody will even notice. It's not good. First aid, he probably needs like Medicaid. I don't even know. I don't live in the US. Is Medicaid even a thing? It just seems like a good pun to play off this. I guess it's a fine little ambulance. He's a leg, so this comes forward and you just use his head as like the connector point. But we can leave that down for the transformation, and then we come here and we just flip those. Oh, blades fell over. We flip those down and stand that up. It's not good. He has no arms. They're kind of molded into the plastic, but they're not separate pieces or anything. And finally, we have Streetwise, who is definitely not wise. He is just awful. There's, of course, the peg in his chest, because he too becomes an arm. Shouldn't. He's terrible. Just awful. To transform him, we bring that down, we bring that whole thing forward there, and like there's your, you know, his head falls down basically to become the peg for the arm. So you leave that up. Again, no arms or anything. It vaguely looks like Streetwise. Vaguely. These are not good. Never were, never gonna be. And from trash KOs, we move to some Clear Skies. That being the Clear Skies Minicon team from Transformers Armada. And we recently have been looking at a few of the Armada characters, along with the Minicons. Some are good, some are some are just not great. This guy is part of a trio along with Steelwind, and it seems like it's either Night Scream or Noise Effect. I'm not sure what's going on with the name there. And this guy is Thunderwing, and he turns into an F-14 Tomcat. And he's kind of a middle-of-the-road one. Now, that being said, the coloration here with this blue and this yellow really reminds me of Beast Machine's Jetstorm, to be honest with you. I don't know why, but it really does. Interesting conversion, but then the resulting robot has iffy articulation. So really we begin by folding up the little tail fin sections, we can fold out the legs, and we can even begin to lift up that centerpiece. We won't bring it up all the way yet. And we can straighten out the legs down, and that's the lower body done. Then we have to split the nose cone. Oh, I just dropped them. But we should be able to, and I hope I'm showing this, because I find these difficult to show a lot of the time. There. Woof. Split the nose cone, and then we bring the wings to the back, and we can stand him up. Like his arms now are up as if he's saying, yay! And we can bring this up, and you can see like he's going, yay! I'm so happy to be here. I don't know. We bring this out to the side, and we can flip it down. We bring this out to the side and flip it down. It's a clever transformation, but like the arms can't go out. They can go around. There's no elbow. The knees can't. Well, there is no knees. The legs don't really go forward or back. Like there's very limited movement in this robot mode. I get it. It's the way that minicons were. But some of them are better than other ones. This one is a kind of an one, at least for me. But he's not the only minicon we got. And our buddy, our pal, Not Metal, also gave us a member of the Street Speed team. This being the guy whose name is a shape, Oval. I actually think it's a play on a Japanese word that just gets lost in translation. But I have to believe that the way that the naming went for this guy was, hey, we need a name for this character, and we're kind of running out of putting nouns and adjectives together. What do we do? What do we do now? And somebody said, you know what, just name it a shape, it's fine, Oval. And somebody piped up and said, how about square? And somebody else said rectangle. And then the guy who said Oval stood up and was like, hey, no, it's Oval. End of story. That's how I believe it was done. It's probably not, but that's how I believe it was done. It's a fine car. If everything is tabbed together well, he rolls fine, I guess. You know, no problem. The transformation, very, very simple. We actually bring the arms forward because there's a little tiny tab in there that actually goes to a little slot here on the legs. Once that's done, we can sort of bring the whole chest forward. The roof sort of stays there on the back. I guess we can straighten up these arms here a bit. And then, last but not least, we come here and we pick up the head, and that's him in his robot mode. He's okay. Like, the legs can go forward and back. There's no, I guess I should extend the legs. Legs go forward, back. I forgot to extend the legs. Pardon me. There's no knee, so that's a shame. Little tiny bit of an elbow, but definitely no 90 degrees or nothing like that. No out to the side. It's limited. This is one of those, like, middle of the road minicons. Like, he's not bad, but he's definitely not top tier either. He's alright for being a little orange car. And now next up we delve into one of 5 boxes that we have here. This one is an Optimus Prime bust, very G1-esque box with Optimus on the front, and you know, a little write-up and stuff there on the back. It's, you know, it's pretty standard box overall. The bust also comes with this little booklet. We'll look at that shortly. I'll just take that out of it for now. And the bust itself, like, it's painted nicely. Great head sculpt. Then for some reason, this side over here is painted like as if he should have an arm attached. But it's not painted that way on this side, because I guess that's where the speaker is. It's so weird. There's a button here on the back. He does lights and sounds and stuff. We'll go through them.
I am Optimus Prime.
You see the eyes light up.
The Decepticons must be stopped. Autobots, transform and roll out. Megatron is in my sights. Fire. Energon fuel cells are low. I need to recharge in the CR chamber. Receiving a message from Autobot headquarters. I am Optimus Prime.
And it takes you right back around there. Look, I'm kind of cool, as of this recording, I'm kind of cool with Fushi, I think his name is, coming on board for the War for Cybertron trilogy on Netflix as Optimus. It's an okay voice that he's doing. It's growing on me. He's kind of getting into the role. But for me and for millions of others, the voice will always be the legendary Peter Cullen. I'm sure that they're looking at the future of the franchise and whatnot, and I'm sure that Peter is, probably being reserved for bigger projects because of the legendary nature of his voice talent. But I like this, if for nothing else, because it ensures that iteration of Optimus, that voice, what a lot of us grew up with, kind of lives on forever. Then we have the little book here. And the little book really just has, and the spine's not really opened on it, so I don't want to do much with it, but there's Optimus, and there's little sayings on some of these pages. If I go in a few pages, there's Starscream, and you see a little quote, and here's Bumblebee. Prime told me there'd be days like this, right? There's Optimus, and if we go, there's Shockwave, right? Prepare for termination. There's another Optimus, and I'm not going through every page of this, but you get the idea. Right, another Grimlock. Megatron's in here, Starscream's in here. There's another Shockwave. So you get the idea. It's kind of cool for what it is. I don't want to. He doesn't have. This came from Maximal 10, and it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to him, and he doesn't have the spine broken on this. I don't really want to be the guy to break the spine on it. And then we come to these 4 boxes, and these are. They're by Junkyard Blacksmith, and I guess they're Headmasters, and I think they're like G1 Headmasters. It's kind of strange, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because they have a robot mode, they have vehicle modes, and then they turn into heads. And I think it's meant to be used with G1 Headmasters. On the back of all these boxes, you can see Megatron and all of his modes, and Ultra Magnus and all of his modes, and Optimus and all of his, and Blaster and all of his. Each of them have 3 modes. I've done all the boxes here because they're exactly the same thing. And kicking us off, we have Ultra Magnus in his truck mode. He comes with a couple of little plastic pieces that I don't know what they do. One's a display base for sure. Maybe the other one's also a display base. I don't know. There's no instructions to this. It's just kind of figuring it out. The little missiles in his shoulders, they can go all the way around. They're actually pegged in there, and you can unpeg them. Actually, for truck mode, it shows them unpegged, but I left them in there anyway. They can face any way you want them to be. I'm going to guess it's a 3mm peg that's in there holding them on. This one over here likes to come off. I guess he rolls okay, or not really roll. He pushes along fine. To do the transformation, you stand him up, and you come around to the back, and there's a little tab kind of down under here, and you push that to bring up his head, and I guess we can bring his arms forward, but is he gonna stand nicely now? But in the end, boom, here you have Ultra Magnus in his robot mode, and his articulation is very comparable to, say, Siege Micromasters, where the legs are able to go forward and back and out to the side and bend at the knee and even move around, but then the arms can only go around, not out to the side, and there's no elbow. So it's pretty comparable to Siege Micromasters, to be honest with you. Looks alright. I mean, you can tell it's Ultra Magnus for sure. To make him into a head, we just, pardon me there, we just put those down, we turn the legs around, and we fold them kind of up over his robot mode chest. We turn him around like this. I guess you could take these pieces out of, his shoulders. And then, just like in G1, you flip that up, and that's a head that's supposed to be like Ultra Magnus. Again, I think using this here, it's supposed to have this guy work with G1 Headmasters. I think. I could be wrong about that. That's my understanding, though. So he's a truck, he's a robot, he's a head. And conversely, this lad is a tank, a robot, and a head. Apparently this is a tank. Now, the robot head here should be pushed in. I'm not bothering to do it because this is a sad tank anyway. I guess the bottom of his feet are painted in like missile launchers, I guess. It rolls, kind of. To do the transformation, I guess you bring the legs down, you would pop up the head, and you stand them up, and ooh, wouldn't you know, we have a Megatron. But, we also have a hole on the side there, and he can have his fusion cannon, which is actually nicely molded. I dig his little fusion cannon. Here it is up closer, just to give you an idea of how it looks. I like it. And I get it, I see how this could be a Megatron. To do the head, we take that off and we put these down again, exact same as before. We bring the legs up in front of the chest, we come over here, and then we pop this up, and I guess it's supposed to be Megatron head. I don't know, maybe it's like a Super Megatron type of head, or Ultra Megatron type of head. You can vaguely tell that it's Megatron, I suppose. Finally, we have a blaster that's to scale. Now, the orange is a little off here, but it's definitely blaster in his cassette player type mode. We bring down the legs from the side. We bring them, let's see, we bring the arms out, bring that arm out, and then we can bring the legs out and down, and we can turn them around at the knee here, bring those down. Now there's a little like slider back here, we push that. We should push that to get the head up, but now this head is sticky. I'm gonna get the head up and then we'll look at the robot mode. Beautiful paint job done on this little guy. I got the head up, and also I have a little piece put here on his shoulder. It came with him. It's very tiny. I assume it's actually supposed to be used with Soundwave, who I assume is like basically a remold of this, or this is a remold of that, so I guess that's why it got included, because we all know that Blaster wouldn't normally have this on his shoulder, so I'll take that out. It's just an itty bitty piece. It looks good. I wish the orange, like I said, was a little more accurate, but otherwise it's fine. In terms of doing his head mode, we know that we just bring this around and bring this around, and they come up like that. We turn this over, and we bring up that little visor, and we have a kind of a fantastic blaster head. I might like this better than the actual G1 blaster head. Again, I assume it's used with G1 Headmasters. And last but not least is the big boss bot himself, Optimus Prime, which is very similar to Ultra Magnus, extremely similar, as I'm sure you would be well aware. He, again, rolls fine. Now, he has a little extra love and care. First things first, I love the dark blue on this guy. I love the way it pops. Excellent paint apps, right down to the little yellow lights on the top of the cab or top of his chest. Even the rims are done, like, come on. So we can stand him up. Now, here's where things get interesting with Optimus. He is the only one whose legs actually peg together. So you unpeg his legs and you turn and you turn. The only thing left to do now is use that push button and bring his head up, and I guess we can even bring his little arms forward, but in the end, boom, here we have Optimus Prime in his little robot mode. Love it. Again, I wish he had elbows, but what do? We put those down, we turn the legs around and bring them up over, we turn the leg around and we bring it up over. Again, you put the legs together. Oh, that's not together. You put the legs together, you turn this around like this, and then, ta-da! You have what really to me looks like Power Master Optimus Prime's head. I think this is done very well for what it is. I like it, I dig it. It's quirky, it's weird, but it's fun at the same time. And there you have it, another weird and wild look at the wonderful world of the oddities that come up across our path sometimes as fans. And this is a good smattering of all that, from garbage KOs to great KOs to like a bust of Optimus Prime to a watch to a bunch of I can only assume are G1 Headmasters. I don't know. This was a weird mix, but I really enjoy a lot of these items. Big thanks once again to Non-Metal and to Maximal 10, even a shout out to Tortoise for our little KO lad here up top. This was a fun one. As far as this kind of whole haul, so to speak, goes, I'm going to say it's like a 9 or a 10. Here's the thing, the Protectobots, they're hot garbage, but all 4 of the Headmasters are kind of brilliant for what they are. I'm going to give those 10s. The KO from Tortoise is as good as any of the real ones, and I looked at all the real Micromasters last year from G1, so I'm going to give it a 10. The watch is fine for what it is. And the little Minicon lads, they're both middle of the road ones. They're not the strongest, but they're definitely not the weakest. When you're able to get your hands on little oddities like this, to me, that's one of the marks of being like a true fan, when you can get these oddities in your hand and appreciate them for absolutely what they are. And here we are once again, and of course all of those things are not going to appeal to everyone. I mean, the bust that makes the noises. If you aren't connected to Peter Cullen as your Optimus, then you're probably not going to care. The Headmaster units, if you have some G1 Headmasters that are missing heads, hey, why not pick it up? You know, maybe you could make some. But they're definitely very niche and unique, but they're well done for what they are. Then we had that KO from Tortoise, which was as good as any of the Micromasters I've ever held. But then we had those Protectobots. Man, they're awful. I'm telling you now, don't waste your money, man. Do not do it. You will live to regret it. I mean, they were gifted to me, so I'm kind of glad to have them. And if I got them for a couple of dollars, I might pick them up. But I've seen them going for like a couple of $100 in the aftermarket. Obviously scalpers and scammers, you know. And I guess all that really leaves is the Minicons. I don't know if I said the Minicons. And they're both pretty good. They're both middle of the road. These are things that as a collector I appreciate right across the gambit. And I'm sure you probably do too. But the casual fan would probably look at us, all of us, and scratch their head just a little bit more and wonder why those items appeal to any of us. Let me know what you think about those items. I appreciate you coming by. Give me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donate link down in the description. Or, of course, you can check out our Patreon and see what we offer to you on Teespring. Hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Stay here. Have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live shows on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres of the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.